Baxter,
yeah.
Meet the world. This is YouTube world. Hello, YouTube world.
Hello,
Baxter.
YouTube world.
Baxter, who'd you used to play with? You said
Chubby Checker.
Chubby. I always get Fats Domino and Chubby mixed up, and you can imagine why. The obesity theme.
Chubby does a lot of that stuff. They know each other very well, too.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Hey, I'm going to give him the camera, and he is going to give us a string fest here. I have set up.
All right. Here's this camera. Here's this keyboard.
Actually, start here because this is the original string machine. In 1970, Ken Freeman began to show these things at shows, and they actually got first, I guess, but Lowry, I think it was.
Where are you? Turn this camera.
Decided to.
Okay, I'm getting your hands. I'm getting you in and the keyboards. I'm learning.
Some kind of deal with him, but by the time they got it all set up, the ARP string ensemble, the ARP, which is the Eminent, had already come onto the market, and the Krumar String Man, which I don't have here, but we have something very related to it, which is more interesting anyway. We had a String Man, but it was kind of obliterated when we got it, and we decided to scrap it. Top octave synthesizer chip, and it uses a single oscillator like every other machine here. It uses a single chip to generate, except for this one, which has three that can be overlapped, I think. But Korg did that with a Lambda also. This is like a very early Lambda in a way that limited features, but it has the definitive phaser sound, and we'll hear that in a second. As soon as the motorcycle goes away, of course he's going 3 miles an hour. This one has 25 oscillators. This has 24 oscillators dedicated to 2 ranks of oscillator per note, so that they can interweave a low-frequency oscillator, 6 of them, to create more of a full orchestral sound. You'll see my video about the Krumar trilogy where they use shared polyphony, where these notes, the oddly hit notes on the keyboard, the C and the F sharp. Sorry, what did I do? Those combinations, those 6 combinations of notes that are oddly hit together, wind up getting patched to different resources in order to make it seem like you've got more resources, because you're rarely hitting them together. They did the same thing with the LFOs on this, I guess. There's 6 different LFO speeds interweaving on different notes that don't commonly get hit together. So
you are editing this.
It seems like you've got more people vibrating at different rates, and basically is the theme here. It's also got a reverb can. Gives you a little bit more stuff there. Sustainer. And we add the ensemble. I've got the high and low footage together. Interestingly, on this one,
it's getting better. I'm doing better at this.
That's the low. And if you put just the high on, it's octave shifted up, but you see there's nothing up here now, and that's always with these. So you're adding the 2 together. It just doesn't have that many footages. It runs out.
Ooh.
So if you add the 2 together, though, you hear the footage doubling come in here. You've only got a single footage up here. Okay? So don't think there's something wrong with it. Now, it's got a really nice dynamic equalizer. Best EQ of all these machines, in my opinion. The equalizer is a great circuit on these. It really just adds a lot. The only one of the better ones, the Krumar Performer, which I didn't bring out today, but it's a later
that is Freeman.
So the Freeman string machine, we're probably going to sell this thing. If anybody's interested, these are so rare, of course. They only made a few hundred of them. And the top of it is a little bit dinged up. If somebody wanted to refinish the top, it would be a splendid machine. I just kind of stained it and did a little wood dough there to fill a couple things where they had gouged it with gorgeously gouged it. Anyway, But you know, these are just so rare, and they are so elaborate in the circuitry that they are a wonderful thing, because all of the rest of the machines here have basically a guitar effect, a cheesy guitar effect over the top of an organ, is what you're looking at. This one was more of a brute force thing, and so it gets more high frequency domain because you don't have to filter out the digital aspects of the guitar effect. The BBDs have a digital clock that drives them, and that digital clock makes noise. Here is the 1974 Multiman over here. This one is the first thing that can mix brass, piano, cello, violin, and I've got another video on this, but I just want to side-by-side compare it so you can kind of hear how the... Got the LFO doing its thing too there. Bass is great on this. It's got the organ bass there, and it's got the brass and piano, and it's got a noisy pot there. I need to pull this one before I sell it and clean it up. It's been setting for years. It's amazing it's still as well as it does. But anyway, yeah, that one I put plywood sides on. They normally had the vinyl covering on the sides here, and I just did it all with the original trim around it. And I still need to fill in back here some. I've got to get some new vinyl to match this and goop it on or something. There, this got all torn up, but that's an easy fix. And anyway, but these are the first, and they're kind of rare. We don't see them up a lot, and they are really warm sounding, really warm sounding. But it's the BBD effect again. It's a single oscillator with top octave synthesizer chip that generates all the tones, and then they divide them down to create everything like most of the other machines here. By the way, this thing has dividers also, but they all divide off of per note. So there's 12 different notes here, 12 different notes there, just boards of dividers. There's so many chips in this thing, it's really just massive circuitry. So it's much more valuable than the others in that way. It's a very unique sound. So, let's see. We're a little out of tune from each other right now, too. Probably that one's out of tune, but you can hear the general. It's got the touch vibrato delays, the whole thing. Now we slam the third set of footages there. And you can hear there's much more complexity in the sound. Interesting sonic differences. Actually, these two somehow, there's certain aspects of them that sound more similar than some of the others, I think. Now let's go over here. This one's a warm little beast, and I've got the phase shifter on. The chord Poly-Ensemble F. Three tuning options here, master tune and the tuning AB. So you get quite an array of beat frequencies out of this thing. And I'm just comparing them all with both of the string footages inactive, the cello and the violin as they're typically called, or whatever. Viola. So go from that to this. Same. A little simpler in some ways, but yeah, it just has its own warm quality. And then the Roland RS-202, first successful string machine from Roland. different string thing there. The Roland's very bright and it's very glassy. Everything's very smooth on the Roland, I think. Next to the Freeman, it's, you know, probably the smoothest. That transparency. Roland did really well in that, I think, on all their synths. They were always, the high end was always very present and active in the sound on most of their things, and it's really one of their claims to fame, I think. Some other companies tended to skimp a little bit on that aspect, and when they had limitations and they had to filter the high end off to get rid of noise and stuff, Roland worked a little harder on some of the synths, it seems like. This one's already sold. She's going away. This is the last time we'll see her. Got too many string machines here, and I gotta trim them down, make some room somehow. But I will miss that one. I may sell the Korg too. This one is, since I got the Lambda, it's a little bit redundant for me, but it has its own little qualities, and it is the definitive kind of space shifter. We had to change batteries. Let me just say, I think this is about 1976, and this is about the same, I think. I think they built that. I'll look that up. Can't remember on the Roland. Anyway, so those are some of the earlier ones. I used to have a Selena, but you can find so many videos about those. And here's the ARP that developed out of it, and this is the biggest seller ARP had. Here you go. Here is our photographer now doing candy. Baxter again. So here we've got it with I've just setting everything up with just violin, viola, the upper two things to get a comparison and to really hear the different subtle differences if we can in the way the processing is done.
You don't make much sound.
What's that?
You don't play good songs on them yet.
Oh, I'm just giving
Play me some sticks.
Sound sample. yeah, I'll do this. Anyway, trying to give him a quick sound sample. The Omni can do a lot more things, but anyway, that gives you kind of its general, it's got the chorus button that will slow down the chorus. The wave enhancement, filter thing that does a nice thing to the signal. Yeah, the beautiful Omni, and other than the...
More about this ARP? Have you talked
we'll get there. Yeah, but we're doing the earliest ones first. This is I think these were around 74 too. This is a early Hohner that was made in Italy, it says on the label. I imagine this is, I think it was made by Elka or something. I think it's basically a Elka workover. Correct me if I'm wrong there. First day I've listened to this one, I've not gotten around to jury rigging the connector on the back. I built a power supply for it. As you see, it's got a connector that I'm letting dry over there with goop, and I need to improve a little bit more, put a housing on it, but you can't find the connector for these things, so I'm manufacturing one. This is the hokiest stand I've ever seen. I just grabbed it, came in that bunch of stuff from Tucson, but pretty little synth anyway. It's got sustain control for each individually. Get a little distortion there off something. Yeah, I got to clean up that. And this is the ensemble effect. I can't hear a darn thing. Difference. Can you hear any difference? Mm-hmm. I don't hear any difference. I don't know why. Oh, I'm sorry. Now I do. Now I do. I think it was sticky. So it adds an upper footage. A little dirt on that one, I think. Anyway, this is a horrible stand. Anyway, it's kind of really a pristine sound out of this one. I like what they did on their chorus effect. It sounds pretty good. That's really a neat little synth. Seldom seen wonder there. And string synth. That's all it does. It's just a string synth. So, yeah, those are some of the early ones that we've got here. Like I said, the String Man, similar to the Multi-Man in a lot of ways, I think. They both use the same dividers and generation, basically. Not too much difference there. And they just enhanced it into a do-all machine there. And the I used to have, I wish I'd had the Arc Salinas so we could A-B compare it too. But here is the I don't understand the controls on this thing. And they all do this that I've seen. This is actually a CL in disguise. It says ARF, but it's the CL Orchestra from the late 70s. I believe 79, I think they made these, didn't they? 80, maybe 80. But anyway, the decay is, it just decay right in that area. It decays so fast. And I tried a different taper, and it didn't help. I need to figure that out someday, but they all do that. I've almost like a switch rather than at least the ones I've seen. So this one you can mix the different parts. You know, you've got a piano and a organ. Anyway, but I was just featuring again the string sound, so you can just kind of compare how it's a little more grainy. The sound sounds a little grainier to me, doesn't it? To you, it kind of has a, I don't know how to describe that. It's a facet of the waves being less filtered, but it's still a great machine. I use the Orchestra 2, the OR400, for doing ABBA type songs. That's what I used to play when I was with a band, ABBA songs. And anyway, so yeah, the ladies had great voices. Later 80s, and this I think is one of the last words in string machines, the Moog Opus 3. And I had a trouble with it, and good, it's still working. It's warm, it's beautiful, it's got a string filter that has resonance. Slow down on the chorus. This thing is one of my favorites for sure, just because, of course, you've got all these things you can mix and smoothly transition as you're playing. It mixes the organ and string here with that mix knob into the chorus. It mixes the brass and the organ via that knob into the brass filter and the VCA. So we turn that up and we got the chirpy Moog.
Gonna have the cops down there.
They're coming to get me, Moxie. Hide me, rabbit.
But anyway, very warm, beautiful machine. I love these things. You can pan each control to left and right. It's a stereo thing, but we're just running mono out here. And little dirt. I haven't moved the switches for a while. I got to clean the switches again. 8/4 in both, and then you have a high-low or bandpass filter on the strings also. So this thing is more flexible in the kind of sounds it can get with the string and that smooth, beautiful sweep with the different footage sets kind of through the chorus effect there, and uses SAD 512 rare little chips, but hopefully they hold together for you. Those are hard to find. And yeah, that kind of sums it up, I guess. Those are some of a few of my favorite strings. Opus and Freeman and thanks. Multi-Man Kumar, Ambient Quartet and Hohner and yeah. If you guys haven't seen the Will Ferrell doing Robert Goulet on that, you got to catch that. A little plug for that video. No extra charge there, Will. But yeah, a little glitchy on that one. Master tuning. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, fun. Well, it's almost sunset here. Got a lot of smoke here, and I guess some more fires kicked up. Little rain last night. I hope it damps them down soon. Sure had a lot of smoke this year. Well,
get them in for it gets raining.
Yep, Sound Doctorin signing off here.